generation, and quite a number of programs that aim at uplifting the quality of life of their own people.
So President Buhari has every reason to be here.
Oh, absolutely, we have. And I know that before we left the country, we had read about criticism of his departure, coming here against the backdrop of the incident at Kuje prison. And our sense of it is that no responsible leadership, no responsible country would stop governance, would stop presidential engagements because they face threats of terrorism. The question to ask is, so who is in charge? Should we allow terrorists to call the shots, for our leaders, for our own countries? No, it shouldn't be. No responsible country should allow that to happen. Governance must go on as we fight terrorism.
Meanwhile, 3 African leaders, including the host President Macky Sall of Senegal and Umaru Sissoco Embalo of Guinea-Bissau, have visited the Nigerian leader to commiserate with him over the demise of the Secretary General of OPEC, Mohammed Sanusi Barakindo. They individually described his death as a great loss to Africa and prayed God to grant him eternal life and Nigerians the fortitude to bear the loss. With the ongoing rehabilitation of the nation's refineries, the end is in sight of fuel scarcity in the country. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Siva, says this while addressing journalists after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the council has also approved about 22.5 billion naira for development facilities in Bayelsa and River States aimed at improving the environment.
The Ogoni environment is in the news again. This time it concerns the fulfillment of President Muhammadu Buhari's promise to the people that he will do everything possible to ensure a clean environment in that area. Also, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources has assured Nigerians that the problem in that sector concerning scarcity of fuel and the high price of gas will soon be resolved. Let's hear more from the 2 ministers as they briefed the press on the decisions of the Federal Executive Council at its meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Took a very major step today by approving the award of contract for consultancy services for the design of Center of Excellence for Environmental Restoration with an integrated contaminated soil management center.
The Center of Excellence, as Minister of Environment Muhammad Abdullahi says, is meant to impact in terms of employment generation and laboratory tests for land remediation efforts. The total sum approved for the project is 449,250,040 naira, 50 kobo, 7.5% VAT inclusive.
In Yenagua by the
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, says the Federal Executive Council equally approves the award of contracts and procurement for the provision of our conference hostel facilities in Yenagua for the sum of 22 billion naira. It is expected to be completed in 24 months. The minister, when asked why fuel scarcity persists, says this will soon be over.
Price is higher than the recommended price that are accused. That is the situation we find ourselves for now. We are still dealing with that. We are engaging them. And of course, I'm sure even that is going to be taken care of. But it is not a supply problem from the government. On the issue of refineries, the rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery is on course. We promised that by end of this year, the old refinery will be fully operational. That's what we promised. And that is fully on course. I still stand on that.
A minute silence was observed by council members in honor of late Sanusi Barakindo.
Sanusi Barakindo really served this country both in Nigeria and internationally meritoriously.
In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
And before traveling to Dakar, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a new warning to the ministers, both new and old, to totally eschew corruption. The state of this while swearing in 7 newly appointed ministers. State House correspondent, this time Adamu Sambo, report that the new appointees have already been assigned portfolios following a minor cabinet reshuffle announced by the president.
Those sworn in to continue the lofty objectives of the Buhari administration include Iko Henry Ikechiku from Abia State, Minister of State, Science and Technology, Okon Umana, Akwa Ibom State, Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Udum Udi, River State, Minister of State for Environment, and Ademola Adewole Adegoroye, Minister of State for Transportation. Others were Umar Ibrahim Eliakub Kano, Minister of State, Works and Housing, Goodluck Nana Opia, Imo State, Minister of State for Education, and Ekuma Nkama, Joseph Nkama, Ebonyi State, Minister of State for